damage.
In southern Turkey, buildings crumble like sand. Obliterated by some of the worst earthquakes in a century. The first struck before dawn as the country slept. The impact captured on a shop's CCTV, shaking for around 90 seconds. The terror and scale of the damage revealed with the light. The number trapped beneath the rubble is unknown. The death toll is rising, and the aftershocks keep coming. A second 7.6 quake rocked the center of the country, making the rescue efforts even more dangerous.
There was an aftershock of, more than 6 points magnitude, and it did cause a certain extra damage, not just only hampering the rescue efforts. Because I did see on my way, this is my second visit here, some of the buildings that were that looked fine before were also damaged.
The earthquake was incredibly powerful, unleashing widespread destruction without warning. A force so intense, it wiped out history in seconds. This 2,000-year-old castle among the wreckage.
Bu gece saat
At 4:17 a.m. we experienced the worst disaster of the century since the 1939 Erzincan earthquake. The earthquake, whose epicenter was in Parachuk in Kahramanmaraş and had a magnitude of 7.7, as per the latest estimates, was felt in a very broad region.
Survivors are being found. Here, a child is pulled from the rubble. The next 48 hours are critical for saving as many lives as possible.
Now, evangelical Christian farmers in Texas, who are apparently very familiar with Mosaic law and the requirements, donated the heifers, and upon arrival in Israel, the cows were reportedly taken to a farm near Beit Shan, where they're currently under supervision and in a 10-day quarantine. Now, a group called B'nai Israel, I think I'm pronouncing that right, located the cows and helped facilitate this entire operation and get them to Israel. Pretty incredible work by B'nai Israel. Before the cows departed the U.S., a group of rabbis from the Temple Institute in Jerusalem even went to Texas and gave them the thumbs up. 5 red heifers, unblemished, just as the law of Moses requires. Now, another major point here, and another reason why you should care about these cows, is that many in Israel and many prophecy watchers believe that the emergence of these red heifers after 2,000 years is one of the final steps towards the construction of a third Jewish temple in Jerusalem and the resumption of temple sacrifices. And they believe that means we are very close to the Messianic age. Remember, the first temple, Solomon's temple, was destroyed by the Babylonians, and then the second temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 A.D. Yet the Bible is clear that a third temple will be built and that it will stand in Jerusalem.
One of the points it brings out is one of the mistakes that human beings make is believing that there is only one way to live, and that we don't accept that there are diverse ways of being in the world, that there are millions of ways to be a human being, and many ways, but many paths to what you call God. And her path might be something else, and when she gets there, she might call it the light. But her loving and her kindness and her generosity brings her, if it brings her to the same point that it brings you, it doesn't matter whether she called it God along the way or not. What about Jesus? What about Jesus? Does God care about your heart, or God care about if you call his son Jesus?
I don't go to church. God don't live in church. They say the body is the temple. I'm walking in church right now. I tell a Christian in a minute, I say, I don't believe Jesus died on no cross. But wait a minute, he could walk on water, feed 1,000 with a loaf of bread, raise the dead. But you telling me this couldn't handle 3 nails?
Recently, Steve Harvey, who by the way professes to be a Christian,
being a Christian hard. Christian got too many rules.
He visited a Muslim mosque and had this to say.
There's no one way to heaven, no one way to paradise. It's like television. Now it's over 800 channels of cable, and they're all pretty entertaining. So I'm pretty sure, man, that to get to heaven, there's got to be more than one route.
I think the gayest place on the face of the earth is the black church, and it's one of the most repressive. Because I think all the dudes there is kids that used to got to go with their kids, dudes that used to got to go with their wives, and men that are trying to pray the love of out of their heart. They're like, I'm already on my knees, so I just think
the Jesus that was here 2,000 years ago was a prophet, and the New Testament is 25% history, but 75% prophetic of Jesus, the Messiah, who would come at the end of the white man's world. If you took Christianity, and if it were a wet rag, and you wrung it out, every drop would say slavery.
How he reveals himself to us, it is as unique in our own mentality. So when you grapple with this notion of many paths to God, there has to be many paths to God because we are many people, and in the process he reveals himself in many ways.
And he has to reveal at your level, and not everybody's at the same level.
Not everybody's at the same level.
Not everybody's at the same level.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
That cross-pollination.
They